Good morning. Today's message will come from the book of St. Matthew, chapter 7. St. Matthew, chapter 7. And I read to you two verses. Verse 7 and verse 8 will be our sermon message for today. Ask, and it shall be given. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. For everyone that asketh, receiveth, and he that seeketh, findeth. And to him that knocketh, it shall be opened. Let's read that again. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. For every one that asketh, receiveth, and he that seeketh, findeth. And to him that knocketh, it shall be opened. I don't know if you ever had to ask God for anything. I don't know if you've ever had to seek God directions, but I can only trust and believe that you have. We've had to ask God to do many things for us. We've had to ask God to fix many things for us. We've had to ask God to give us many things. Have to ask God to go and be a replacement for us in many things. We're constantly, and I know I'm not the only one, we're constantly asking God to do this, take care of this. God, ask, and it shall be given. Seek, and you shall find. Our last week sermon was, have I lost Jesus? Have you had to seek Jesus? Have you lost Jesus? We talked about it. Our last week's sermon said, yes, we all have lost Jesus at one time or another, even his mother and father. But the lesson says today, seek ye and ye shall find. And then it says, knock, and it shall be opened unto you. This morning I want to use for a sermon text today, God has a door open for me. Say that with me today. God has a door open for me. I don't have to go around and say what nobody else done or what he done for anyone else or feel bad because he did it for someone else. But I have to believe and understand what God does for someone else, he'll do the same thing for me. And that's why this lesson is so important today, to say that God has a door open for me. You know, it just ought to make us just jump for joy to know that God has a door open just for you with your name on it. Got a door open for you with your blessings on it. Got a door open for you for the things that you've been asking him for. A door open for you for the things that you have been seeking him for. Got a door open for you the things that you've been knocking. Oh God, will you please, God, will you hear my prayer? God, God, it's me. Will you open up? God, will you go and fix this? Will you go and change these things around? This morning, God has given us a message of hope and peace. Hope and peace and joy, knowing that he has a door open for us. What a perfect time to hear this message as we begin the new year. A lot of us going to begin the new year with resolutions. Begin the new year what you want to do, what you don't want to do, what you want to stop, what you want to begin. Resolutions has been here forever. And many of us wait for this time to set New Year's resolution, not knowing that with God, we can set resolutions any time of the day, any day of the week, any time of the year with God, because the lesson says today that God has a door open for me. What a perfect time as we start the new year, that God has a door open for me. Somebody want to do better. Somebody want to feel better. Somebody want to see a change. Somebody want to feel a difference in the family, difference in the home, difference in the job, and a difference in the schools, difference in the government, difference in the community. Somebody's wanting to see a difference. Well, you need to go ahead and give God some praise this morning, because the message says that God has a door open for me. Those things that you've been asking, those things that you've been seeking, those things that it said that he that seeketh findeth, to him that knocketh, it shall be open. Have you been knocking at Jesus' door for something? God has a door open for you. Our last sermon of the year that I normally preach, that goes along with this door that God has his door open for, it says, what and who will I leave behind? And what and who will I bring into my new year? A very strong statement. You know, God has given us, if the Lord's will, we prepare to see a new day for a new year beginning at 12 o'clock tonight. There are some choices we have to make. There are some answers we have. There are some things we have to give to God. God, I've been toiling with this. God, I want to do better. God, I want to have more. God, I want things to work out better. But in order for those things to be, we have to decide who and what will I leave behind? And who and what will I take into my new year? And I've learned this, and I've learned it a hard way, that everything isn't for us. As God prepares to open up those windows and doors for us, you're going to hear me say later on, everything is not for us. We're not going to be able to take in last year. We're not going to be able to take in that stress from last year to be able to enjoy those blessings of the new year. God has a door open for you, but who and what are you willing to leave behind? So many times we get attached to things. No, I can't let this go. No, I'm just going to let it work out itself. I'm just going to see what happens. I'm going to wait for the perfect opportunity. No, it comes a time when we have to make a decision as to who and what will we leave behind, and who and what will we take into our new year. This is a very good sermon to go on our message today, knowing that everything doesn't always fit through the door. Yeah, God has a door open for you, but everything doesn't always fit through the door. With that being said, there's going to be somebody you're going to have to let go of. There's going to be something that you're going to have to leave behind. You may think it's so great, you can't do without it. Just like those cell phones, so many times we feel we can't even go around the block. We can't go to the next town. We can't go to the store, turn around and go back because we left that phone. We become attached to it. Are you willing to let go? What are you willing to leave behind? What are you willing to let go of? As I said, God has a door open for you, but you need to hear this. Everything doesn't fit through our door. God has a blessing for us, so we need to be reminded that as He opened those doors for us, everything. And I'm saying this a couple of times because I really want you to understand what I'm saying. That even though God opened the door for you, everything doesn't fit through the door. When God was blessing the Israelites and He told Lot, He says, I want you to go and I want you to part this country and I want you to get out. And He said, and I want you to take your kindred with, don't take your kindred with you. And I remember Him taking His wife and He told him, don't look back. Don't look back what's behind you. But Lot's wife turned around and looked back because she was worried about what she left behind, what she had back there. So we have to understand that everything's not going to fit through the door. Even though you went through it last year, even though you had it last year, even though you had it last week, last month, God may not want you to take it into your new year. God may not want you to take it into your new day. Who and what will you leave behind? And who and what will you take into your new year? I'm reminded that a couple of years ago, I want to just paint a picture here, and I've said this before in a sermon before, it talking about everything doesn't fit through the door. I remember a few years ago that my wife wanted a new refrigerator, and we was able to go and we found the refrigerator over in Austin, and we brought that refrigerator with no thought. Have you ever done anything with no thought? Don't think about anything about it. That's it. Gotta be for us. It came to us. It just jumped out there right there. So I know it's for us. We brought that refrigerator with no thought. Just like us today, so many take life with no thought of their life. Somebody's living today just eating, drinking, and being merry. We have to have a thought process. We have to include God in the things that we do. As I said, we purchased this refrigerator with no thought. We took no thought of the price. We took no thought of having to negotiate and make a deal. And it was a used refrigerator. We didn't take no thought about it. We didn't even have a truck with us. We just purchased it, told them we were going to come back and get it. We came home, jumped into the truck, went back, picked up the refrigerator, and I said, and I love ice. And I said, as long as it's got ice maker on it, it's the right one for me. No thought about it. Once I seen that, I knew it was the one for us. We got the refrigerator, brought it home. And then, as I said, we brought it without even measuring it. So when we got home, we took the old one out. And I want to tell you something. We had no problem taking out the old one, because the old one had been there for many years. As we decide and look at what we need to leave out and take out of our lives and what we're going to leave behind, have to understand it should be pretty easy because we've been there with it for 364 days, which should be pretty easy. Have kept you up at night, have caused you not to eat right, have caused you to shed some tears. So it should be pretty easy to let it go. When we got home, we took out the old one and we proceeded to put the new one in. But we quickly found out that the new one wouldn't fit through the door. Quickly found out that the new one would not fit. As we said earlier, everything doesn't fit through the door. As you hear this message then, as you find out that God is opening up doors, it has a door open for you, you're going to have to decide there's some things you're going to have to let go that's not going to fit into your year. God want to do a new thing for you, but you're going to have to be willing to let go of some of those old things. You have to be willing to let go of some of those old ways. I'm not meddling this morning. I'm just telling you what God has put on my heart. So as we want that refrigerator, and we have brought it, and we've quickly found out that it wouldn't fit through the door. As I said, you're going to find out a lot of things that you've been wrestling with, a lot of things that you've been trying to do on your own, a lot of things that you've been trying to fix without God. It's not going to go fit through your open door that God is giving you for the new year. So we had to begin to remove things so we could get it through the door. We began to move the hinges and the molding, and we had to remember we didn't do anything to the refrigerator, but we had to move the opening, the trimming around the door. And this is our foundation of our sermon today. We're going to have to remove things in our life because God has a door open for you. God has a door open for me. We're going to have to be willing to move some things so that those blessings can fit through the door. This morning, that's such a blessing to hear. This is your year. This is a new day, a new year that we haven't seen before. And you need to say this here. I said, this is my year. Because I just heard God say he has a door open for me. That means my name is on it. God has something in store for me. God has something in store for you. This is your year. This is my year. This is our year. This is God's children's year because God has a door open for us. Our lives are filled with doors. As we look at it, we have to understand that as we heard this message there, I began to think about doors. Our lives are filled with doors that leads in and out every day. Buildings have doors, at least one. Code inspections say you have to have two ways, one way in, one way out in case of emergency. It's almost impossible to build anything without a door. Hospitals, stores, schools, stadiums, homes, churches, even our own homes. It's amazing how many doors we have and how many times we go through those doors. I want you to think about it. Every room has a door. Doors are a path that directs our in and outs of life. That's why the words say, I will bless your going out and your coming in. I'm going to bless you as you go in this door, into the next door. I'm going to bless you as you walk in. I'm going to bless you as you go into that next chapter, that next generation, that next blessing. He said, I will bless your going out and your coming in, meaning God will bless us through the doors of our lives. God has a door open for you. Isn't it amazing that God message today that he opened a door for you? So many times we as gentlemen, we don't even open the door for our wives. Oh, before we married them, we would. But we get to a point where we quit opening the doors for our spouses. Quit holding the doors open for people that's behind us or people that's coming in. But God haven't stopped. He's still opening up doors. God has a door open for you. Today, as we prepare to begin our new year, new day, God's saying, I'm gonna hold the door open for you. I got doors open for you. He says, and what God opened, no man can shut. But I know today I may have to remove some things in my life. You may have to remove some things in your life because everything is not going to fit through the door. Yeah, God has a door open for you, but you're going to have to be able to let go because everything is not going to fit through the door. It has And as we go prepare to go through the door, we have to understand that if God has opened the door for you, it has to be something good on the other side. If God has opened the door for you, it has to be something good on the other side. Knowing that God doesn't give us leftovers. Even though leftovers can be good sometimes, God doesn't give us leftovers. God doesn't give us used. God doesn't give us hand-me-downs. God doesn't give us from the bottom. God always gives us his very best. James said, "Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Be not deceived, every good and perfect gift comes from above." This year, I'm encouraging you to don't sweat the small things. Don't get caught up in the things of the world. Don't go backwards, remembering that God's reverse doesn't work. God don't want us doing like Lot's wife, turning around, looking back. Then we don't let anything separate you from the love of your God. Get ready to move. Get ready to remove. Get ready to go somewhere, because God has a door open for you. A door to a new you. A door to new blessings. A door to a new walk. A door to a new talk. A door to a new look. God has a door open for you, and God has a door open for me. Last year, we're just about to open up the new year. This old year is about ready to close. And as we open up the door, we will see what James says when he says, "I give you a clue." We're preparing to move into that year. And we have to understand, with everything that's going on in the world, with all the media, with all the bad talk, with all the things on the news, we have to believe and live our life that God has something good in store for us. God doesn't open up doors of negative. God doesn't open up doors of disappointment. Every door that God opens is good. Be not deceived. As I said earlier, every good and perfect gift comes from above. I want to encourage you today. A sermon I preached several years ago. Keep your hand on the knob. Keep your hand on the knob. It says, "For everyone that asks to receive it, and he that seeketh findeth, and him that knocketh, it shall be open." Keep your hand on the knob, because God is going to open up doors for you. God's going to open up things that you thought was closed for good. Going to open up things that you thought there was no way that it was going to get any better. God has a door open for you, but he wants you to keep your hand on the knob. As I told you this day, we must see what's on the other side. And on the other side, it has to be something good. As songs say, it says that when you think about all what God has done for us, all the goodness that God is willing to do, it says, songs say, "I feel like running. I feel like shouting." Because with God opening doors for me, that means that we are going somewhere. New heights, new grounds, higher and higher, new places that we never seen before, new walks, new looks, new beginnings, new opportunities, new blessings. This morning, we have to understand that God doesn't make a promise that he doesn't keep. God will do his part. Now it's up to us to do our part. Who and what will we leave behind? And who and what will we take into his new year? God has a door open for you. Because we have to, as I said, everything won't fit through the door. Some of us know what we're holding on to that God is not going to allow us to take into our new year. Some of us know who we're holding on to that God is not going to allow us to take into our new year as he moves us through that new door. Remember, God has some big blessings in store for you. I want all that. And for me, I want all that God has. I don't want to miss any of God's blessing. I don't want to get caught having that not being able to let go. I don't want to get caught not willing to let God is saying, "Now I got the door open for you, but you're going to have to be willing to drop some of those things that are not going to fit through the door." God's going to do his part, but we have to do our part. Oh, I thank God, because he specializes. He specializes in opening doors. Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." No man cometh to the Father except by me. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. He's there at the knock. He said, if you knock, he said, if you will let me in, let me come in. Taste and see that the Lord is good. I have an open door for you, just for you. Today, as I prepare to close, I want to leave with you 9 quick steps to let you know that you have and that you're able to recognize and know that God has opened a door in your life. God don't just want you standing there knocking. God wants you to come on to the other side. If you open up, he said, I will come in. Where I'm at, there you may be also. God wants you to go through that open door of blessings. Just like every room in your home have a door. Know every situation, every struggle, every opportunity, everything you encounter in life, God has a door open for you. Somebody's been struggling. Somebody's been fighting against principalities, flesh. Somebody's been chained down with things of the world, whatever it may be. You have to understand that this year God has new opportunities. God in life, God has a door open for you. And remember, doors don't only let you out. Doors don't only serve as an exit sign, but doors open up that allows us to follow and walk into the next room, to the next phase, the next chapter, the next blessing. God has a door open for you. That's God's plan, and that's God's purpose, that he's ready to open up doors. 9 steps to know that God has opened up a door for you. The first step, those things you do, it points to God. Those things you do, it points to God. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I gave. I don't know why I just walked up and gave somebody. I don't know why I paid for this. I don't know why I forgave. Because it says there had to be nobody but Jesus. There was nobody but Jesus. It points to God. The things that you do, your mindset. God put it on my heart. God told me to do this. God told me to say this. God told me to go over here. The things you do, the things you say, it points to God, is a sign that there's a door open, that God has opened a door for you. The second step to know that the door is open up for you is backed up by Scripture. The book of St. John 10:19 said it earlier, I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved. He said, I am the door. Without Christ, we are nothing. Without Christ, we can not do nothing. A lot of times we take the credit, how many hours we put in, what kind of great job we have, the material things that we have. It does. They say, without Christ, we are nothing. I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and he shall go in and out and find pasture. Verse 3, the third step to know that the door is open for you, answered prayer. Have God answered any prayers for you? If you have been praying for something and God has answered and brought it to pass, that's an answered prayer. Another door that God has opened for you. Prayer go where we can't go. Prayer do what we can't do. Fourth step to know that a door has been opened for you, feeling discomfort. Feeling like nothing you do is good enough. So many times people say, I know that you know that you can do better. I'm striving to do better. It seems like something just keep bringing me down or not allowing me to do. Discomfort could be and probably is a sign that God has opened up a door for you in your life. And the discomfort perhaps that you're feeling, you haven't walked through it. The discomfort is God is opening up for you, telling you, come on in, my child. Here's a blessing. Take 1 step, and I'm going to take 2 steps. Come on, you can let go. You can excel. You can get to the next phase. Discomfort can be perhaps the door's been open, and you haven't walked through it. The fifth thing to know that the door is open, blessings arriving you didn't ask for. Opportunities coming available that you didn't know about. Had that ever happened to you? Blessings that come and you didn't even see them coming. Just out of nowhere, you receive a blessing. Your obedience, your tithing, your gifts, your service, your good works pays off. Find yourself in positions that you didn't apply for. Blessings arriving that you didn't ask for. A sign that God has opened a door for you. The sixth step, to know that God's opened a door for you, you hear that little still voice speaking. The Bible says he that had an ear, let him hear what the Spirit has to say. God speaks to us in many ways, sometimes in a dream, sometimes in a vision, sometimes through our hearts, our mind. When God speaks, we need to listen. Our seventh step to know that He has opened the door for us, you begin to bless others. Not at appointed times like Christmas, not at appointed time like Thanksgiving, but you begin to bless people just because. A blessing isn't a blessing until you share it with someone else. I say it all the time. We are called to be a blessing to others. When we do so, it is a sign that God has opened up a door for us. I'm able. God has made me able, and I'm available to help somebody else now. The eighth step to know the door is open, it brings peace. When the Lord opens doors for you, it takes away worry, takes away that stress. It takes away that from being at a unrest, but it brings a peace of mind when you're moving in the direction of God. The direction of God is leading you. You will always find peace through the new doors that He has opened in your life. Our ninth and final step to know God has opened a door for you, trust God. Put all your trust in God. That's an open door. Be ye not as the horse or as the mule, which have no understanding, whose mouth must be held in with a bit and bridle, lest they come near unto thee. But trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not into thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct thy path and open up doors in your life. Church, you need to know today, when one door closes, God opens another. Our lives are filled with doors, but God opened up doors to better chapters in our life. Doors of opportunity, doors of blessings, doors of hope, doors of better choices. And know as God open up doors, adversary will try to open up doors in your life. We have to understand God opened up doors to a new you, a new life, new things, a new beginning. Behold, God can and God will make all things new in our life. This day and the days to come, I invite you to listen to God. And as you listen to God, be obedient and follow God as He leads you through the many doors of blessing. The good news, God is opening up the doors for you. God is opening up the doors for me. God is opening the doors up for us to be better, to do better, to live better. Thanks be unto God for His message today. I pray and trust that you've gotten a thought out of this message today. I pray that you will not only hide these words in your heart, but you will share this message with someone else, because a blessing isn't a blessing until you share it with someone else. I pray and trust that you will be richly blessed this day, and not only this day, but the days to come, as God open up the doors for you. Be obedient. Be willing to let go whatever, whomever, and be willing to walk into that door of new blessings, new opportunities. For God has that door open. He did this just for you and just for me. God bless you this day.